these are fundamental freedoms, and the government trying to take them away, trying to cloak them, trying to set them aside, trying to call it something else, is not going to pass unnoticed. And I mean, we always need a case that we can find that is a good case that we can start to take forward through the courts up to the Supreme Court to get that ruling. And I will do everything in my power to help them find that case, because it is unconstitutional. And the Honourable Government House Leader and I are clearly going to disagree on this one, but it is so complete affront to those constitutional freedoms of assembly, and also, what's my other favourite one here? The right to peaceful assembly. Peaceful assembly and the freedom of association. And we've got court rulings that say, freedom of association is interpreted as being the ability to form a union, and other court rulings, Supreme Court rulings, that say you can't have unions without collective bargaining. It's meaningless. So those two things go together. And what do we have here in Bill 45 and Bill 46? Walking away from collective bargaining. Like when the minister talks about, well, in Bill 46, we had to go to this because AUPE walked away from the table, that's actually not true. I know that will shock and surprise you. But when I went back and looked at the series of events, AUPE had been trying to get the government, trying to get the government to negotiate with some kind of good faith, not some sort of way out of proportion request. And here I'll go back and remind you again, the doctors certainly didn't take 001 and 1, and neither did the teachers. So, let's talk about a proportionate request. I'm sure everyone would still be at the table. But they had a right to ask for the binding arbitration when they saw that the government wasn't going to move. They were going to hold a tough line. It was like those cowboys, ka-chink, ka-chink with the spurs, tough guys. So they weren't going to move, okay? Fine. Then the unions have every right to ask for that binding arbitration. Now, they asked for an earlier date, and who was the one that couldn't get back to them fast enough? Who was the one that repeatedly delayed getting back? That was the government. So we ended up with an arbitration date that is been pushed back by the government's non-compliance or the government's lack of cooperation. Not the unions, the governments. And so now the arbitration date is set for early February. And when do we have the bill coming into effect? Oh my goodness, the end of January. How neat. It's not neat, it's devilish. It's vile. It's evil. It's disrespectful. In answer to the member's question about how do these things all link together and link to the constitutional freedoms and equality rights, that's what the government's doing. It's their own fault that they want to behave that way towards their own unions, the people that go to work every day to make them look good. And they can't look those people in the eye and say, I don't think you're worth it. I don't think you're worth any money. So instead, we have Bill 45, 46, and then further down the line, talk about what they're going to do to the pensions of working people. I would tend to say this is a government a little disconnected with the folks out there.